Hey guys, this is Rainiac, and welcome to Let's Play Mega Man: The Power Battle, an arcade game released by Capcom in 1995. So as you can see, we have a choice of 3 different playable characters. We have Mega Man, of course, Proto Man, and Bass. Today I'll be selecting Mega Man, and we also have a choice of 3 different courses: Mega Man 1 to 2, Mega Man 3 to 6, or Mega Man 7. Today I'll be taking you through Mega Man 1 to 2. As you can see, there's 6 possible stages to choose from. Each stage has a different theme, and you fight a different Robot Master in each one. The basic stage layouts are the same whichever course you choose, but some stages will have minor cosmetic changes depending on which course you're playing and which Robot Master you're fighting. Unfortunately, you don't have a free choice of which stage you go to. Instead, you have to stop this roulette square, and whichever stage it lands on is where you go next. Here, for example, is landed on Wily Land, which means we're going to fight Woodman. Now, the reason I usually like to take on Woodman first is because he has a very simple and easy to avoid pattern. So rather than waste time telling you about the pattern when you can just watch the video and see for yourself, I'm instead going to talk about the basic controls for this game. All 3 characters share the same basic controls. All of them can super jump, done by holding up and pressing the jump button. All of them can charge up their main weapon for more damage, and all of them can wall jump as well. The super jump and the wall jump are very useful techniques, and they will allow you to avoid most of what the regular bosses can throw at you. Not so much the main bosses, but we'll get to that when we come to them. And as you can see, Woodman goes down very simple, and you can actually lock him into an infinite loop attack pattern quite easily. Our reward for beating Woodman is to get the Leaf Shield, and also to listen to the worst weapon get music in Mega Man video game history. Now that Woodman's been disposed of, we can move on to the castle, where there hides a epilepsy-inducing psychedelic background, and also Cutman. Much like Woodman, Cutman also has a very simple to avoid attack pattern, but that's not my main issue with this battle. My main issue with this battle is the music. Have a listen. That's Shadow Man's theme from Mega Man 3. This is not Cutman's theme, this is the wrong music. And Cutman is by no means the only boss to suffer having the wrong music. There are so many other instances throughout this game, and I'll point them out as we come to them. And you'll also notice that whenever you hit the boss with their weakness, the screen will flash white to show you've got the right weapon. But yeah, I mean, this is not even the first time in the LP that the music's been wrong. When we were fighting Woodman, the music was Crashman's. And now that I've said that, I bet you can't guess who's hiding inside the factory. If you said Crashman, you don't win anything because it was bleeding obvious. Again, Crashman is quite a simple boss to fight, but I quite like this fight. There's an interesting gimmick in those tubes in that they let you flip onto the ceiling for a second, and it is actually quite useful to avoid Crashman, who jumps around like an idiot and fires his crash bombs. But that's all he does, so much like Woodman and Cutman, he's quite easy to avoid. In fact, I thought I got a perfect on this fight, and then realised, after watching it through, I've been hit by one of the crash bomb explosions. His weakness is the rolling cutter, and also, if you take on this battle later on, or you take too long, the conveyor belt will start to move and make the fight a little bit harder. But, no biggie. I'd also like to point out that that was not actually Crashman's music playing during the Crashman fight, it was Napalm Man's. What's up with that? 3 down, 3 to go, and next we're heading to the big city. Who's that Robot Master? It's Gutsman! No, we're not doing that joke. Now, any fans of Gutsman out here, I have to apologise in advance because I actually raped this guy using the crash bombs. In fact, I killed him so damn quickly, he didn't even get the chance to show off his shoulder tackle attack, which is good, because that thing hurts. I mean, the crash bombs hit multiple times anyway, add to the fact it's his weakness, and he went down in about 8 seconds. I will give Gutsman props though for being the only Robot Master in this course to have the correct theme music playing while you're fighting. Once you get down to 2 stages left on the stage select screen, it can be kind of tricky to stop the roulette where you want to go next. But fortunately I did, which means we get to go to this cool frozen island in the shape of the skull, and fight Iceman. And to be honest, the boss at this stage should have been a dead giveaway to you all because Well, it's an ice-themed stage, and he's Iceman. He's also the only ice-themed boss in Mega Man 1 and 2. And he's also very, very easy. Iceman only has 2 attacks. Here's the first, the Ice Slasher. This is also the weapon you get for defeating him. He will fire the Ice Slasher in a couple of different patterns, but they're both really easy to avoid, and he will also telegraph his more difficult pattern by shouting out before he fires it. His second attack is a bit more tricky to avoid. It should be coming up just about now. There you go, he will summon snowflakes from the sky, so you want to kill him with the Guts Arm as soon as he does that, because they will take off a whole bar of energy and freeze you in place so you get hit again. So that's kind of dangerous. But I quite like Iceman. He's a robotic Eskimo, wasn't to like about that? Also, that was Freezeman's music, not Iceman's, and that fact will become highly ironic when we get to Mega Man 7. Now, given that our final location is set in the clouds, you'd think that the boss will be Airman. Makes sense, right? But no, for some reason it's Heatman. And being honest, Heatman can actually be quite a tricky boss. You can actually infinitely juggle him with the super arm, as I'm doing here. You can do that to any of the Robot Masters in this course, especially Iceman. But Heatman is probably the second most difficult Robot Master to bust a duel, aside from Gutsman, because of his varied and quite erratic attack pattern. If you use the Ice Slasher, however, he goes down very, very quickly. This is Gyroman's music, not Heatman's. Just to complete the saga of Robot Masters having the wrong music. And for those of you that don't like this music, don't worry, you only have to hear it 12 more times throughout the LP. Which is 12 times too many, but what can you do? Now that we've defeated all 6 Robot Masters, the way to Wily's lair has opened up. Unfortunately, before we can take on the man himself, we first have to defeat a sub-boss. The sub-boss is different depending on which course you're doing, and here, it's our good old friend, Yellow Devil. And I use the first few seconds of this fight to show off just how useless the atomic fire is. It does so little damage, even when you charge it up, it fires out in this sort of stupid arc pattern that makes it difficult to hit anything with it. And its only real application is for burning Woodman to a crisp, and considering you can just kill him easily with a Mega Buster anyway, it's a useless weapon. But Yellow Devil gives quite a nice challenge. He has quite a few attacks. That grab move gives him invincibility frames and takes off a whole bar of health, so it's a real bitch. And I do like that sort of damage animation he has where the eye deforms and then reforms with electricity. So nice, he did it for us twice. But yeah, this is quite a nice fight. He has quite a few moves. He does this one a lot in particular. It's an old staple move from Mega Man 1 and 3, and to avoid it, you can just go behind him when he teleports out and he'll never be able to hit you with it. You'll notice that Mega Man is sliding around all over the shop in this fight, and that's because each character has a unique move done by holding down and pressing the jump button. Mega Man's, as you can probably work out, is a slide, Proto Man's is a dash, and Bass's is an air dash. All 3 of them propel you forwards, but they do it in different ways. I'll cover the other 2 when we see those characters in action later on. I'd also like to point out the Robot Masters in tubes in the background. You'll notice there are 4 Robot Masters in tubes in the background, and without giving too much away, only 2 of them made it into the sequel. And at this point, I probably should have killed off the Yellow Devil, but there was one more attack I was waiting to show off, where he shoots 4 fists diagonally. It's kind of a cool looking attack, and it does a lot of damage, but in the end he decided not to show it off, so I killed him. His weakness is the super arm. He's a decently challenging but not too difficult boss, but let's face it, the Yellow Devil is a staple of the Mega Man series, and to be honest, I don't think any of the other bosses from Mega Man 1 to 2 would have fitted in this course quite as well. All obstacles have been eradicated, all enemies have been vanquished, and all that remains now is a final climactic battle with Dr. Wily. The battle with Wily is in 3 stages. Here's our first stage, the Wily Machine Form 1, and Form 1 has 3 separate attacks. He will try to crush you, a la Mega Man 6. He will use his hands to try and flick you, and that's easily avoided by super jumping. His third attack is much harder to avoid. The hands seem to home in on you, and Mega Man in particular for some reason has special trouble trying to avoid that attack. I have no idea why. You can avoid the crushing quite easily by sliding under him or just running away from him. Unfortunately for me, this boss fight is kind of disappointing. I suppose it's a decent challenge given how much damage most of his attacks do, but I don't know. To me, this isn't as challenging as the final boss should be. Once you do enough damage to Form 1, the base of the machine will explode and take the hands with it, and we're left with the top half for Form 2. Form 2 has 3 main attacks. It will shoot electricity at you, and that will do 1 bar of energy of damage. It will try to swoop down on you, although that attack isn't actually shown during this fight. and his third attack is kind of weird. He floats up to the top of the screen and shoots the spike wheels either side of the machine at you, but providing you super jump at the right time, it's easily avoided. While his final form is the Wily capsule, you have 9 seconds to defeat him or he escapes. Fortunately, he's weak to the rolling cutter in all 3 forms, and there you go, Wily's defeated. And I also like the fact that the way I defeated him, it makes it look like Wily's in jail begging for his life. That's just kind of ironic. Anyway, Mega Man calls upon Rush to escape the burning remains of Dr. Wily's base, and now I'll let you guys enjoy the ending. And there you have it, that's the ending for Mega Man 1 to 2. I do think it's kind of a nothing ending, but then again I suppose it's better than having absolutely nothing at all when you finish the game. And rather than mock the Japanese names in the credits, because my knowledge of Japanese is poor, to say the least, I'm instead going to give a few closing comments on this course in particular. It's decent. I think the bosses they chose to be in this course were a good selection. They're nicely varied in terms of theme and attack patterns. The Yellow Devil fight is a obvious highlight. Wily was kind of a disappointment, but then again he's kind of a disappointment whichever course you pick, so I can't really blame this course in particular for that. Anyway, that's it for the Mega Man 1 to 2 course. I've been Reniac, and join me next time as we take Proto Man through Mega Man 3 to 6. Bye for now.